Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome those of you who are online. We are going to start in just a few moments. We'd like everybody to come on in. You can sign the register books after. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome those of you here and those of you who are online. We ask that everybody take a moment to be sure that your cell phones have been turned off. Rabbi Baruch Epstein will be officiating. Good afternoon. To all the assembled, the family, the many rabbis who are here, Rabbi Yitzchak Wolf, Rabbi Moshe Wolf, Dean Cheder Lubavitch, Rabbi Zalman Schneer, Rabbi Belsky, friends and family who are watching at home. For millennia, rabbis have stood at such assemblies to bid farewell to loved ones and have tried to capture a few insights into the personality of the beloved. And inevitably, they've always come up short and failed. For how can a person's life be summarized in a few short moments? And so it is our tradition that we begin with the request for mechila. Mechila is loosely translated as forgiveness. It also, curiously, is associated with music. For when there is forgiveness, there can be joy. So were there ever a time that we did not show proper deference, respect, or patience, we ask and we are confident that the deceased forgives us and that we can go to a time of joy and celebration. When we are gathered and we search for words, we always inevitably come up short. And so we turn to King David, the sweet singer of Israel, and we read from his words, his book of Psalms. And so I'll begin with the reading of a few of the Psalms, first in the original Lashon Kodesh Hebrew, and then we'll translate them into English. Ashrei ha'ish asher lo halach b'atzas r'shayim, v'derech hatoyim lo amod, v'moshev leitzim lo yashav. Ki im b'seiras enai chefzai, v'seirasa yega yemam b'layla. V'ayek eitz shasu al polgei mayim, asher pirya yitem v'iitari, v'alei lo yibo, v'chol asher yasa yatzliach. L'chein harashayim ki kameitz asher titzvenu ruach, hakein lo yakum r'shayim b'mishvat v'chatayim b'adas tzadikim, this is Psalm number 1. Happy is the one who has not followed the counsel of the wicked, nor stood in the path of sinners, nor sat in the company of the scornful. Rather, that one's delight is in the Torah of the Lord, meditating in God's Torah day and night. It will be like a tree planted by streams of water, that yields its fruit in season, whose leaf will not wither, and whatever that one does prospers. Not so the wicked, who are like chaff that the wind drives away. Therefore, the wicked shall not survive judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. The Lord loves the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked is doomed. Psalm 23, I believe it's also in your pamphlets if you'd like to follow along. First in the original, and then with an English translation. Mizmor LeDavid, Adoni Raya Lo Yechsa, V'nestashi Abitzeni, Amei Menuchos Na'aleini, Nafshi Yesheve, Yankein V'magre Tzedek Laman Shemai. Gam ki elech v'geitz amoves, lo irara, ki ato imadi. Shiftecha meshantecha hem yinachmeni, tarach lefana shulchan neget zererai, V'shanta b'shemen reishi kaisi v'yah. Achte v'chesi v'funi koi mechaye. V'shavte v'es adinoi. A song of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not lack. God causes me to lie down in lush pastures. God leads me beside tranquil waters. God restores my soul and guides me in righteous paths for God's name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your scepter and staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in full view of my adversaries. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. Our sages tell us that if we are wise, we will learn from all people. And if we are attentive, we'll be inspired by special people that come through the path of our life. Mrs. B, Basha Bashmul, was one of those very special people. Truly, a woman of valor. She was most honored, as our sages say, because she gave honor to others. She was truly and genuinely interested in the well-being of other people. Her life is the story of caring for other people. First and foremost, number one priority, her own family, children, grandchildren, and the blessing of great-grandchildren. She touched so many people. So many people are expressing their sympathies and kindness, not only for having met her, but having been inspired by her. For many have authority, but very few have true influence. And that influence lives on forever. When I met with Mrs. B, and in conversations with her, and in a somewhat recent interview where she was asked the secret of her longevity, I still remember two words that she said: look forward, don't look back. Look forward. And that's a message that resonates with me personally, resonated throughout her life, and with the many, many that she touched. She was truly concerned with repairing the world. The Jewish tradition called in Hebrew, tikkun olam. To see this world as it is, to see its positive, to see its beauty, and to make it even better and more available for others. And she did this in so many ways. She supported so many Jewish institutions, medical research, the arts. She truly was concerned with the mind, the spirit, and the body, to make sure that they were more healthy and that they were better off for having known her and having met her. She lived a life filled with grace. She was something that is ever so rare, truly a woman of valor, truly a lady. The Psalm Woman of Valor was originally written by Abraham as a eulogy for his beloved wife, Sarah, who was interned, of course, in the very first section in the Holy Land of Israel that was acquired by the Jewish people in the area called Hebron, the cave of Machpelah. Later, it was codified by King Solomon in his book of Proverbs and has been incorporated for centuries as part of the Friday night Shabbos meal service as both a praise to the mother of the house as well as to the Shabbos, the holy Sabbath, which is called the bride of God. And so for a woman who was indeed the embodiment of a woman of valor, a true lady, we will read this proverb from King Solomon, originally written, as I said, by Abraham. I'll read it first in the original Hebrew, and then I'll translate. Eshes chayo miyimtza, v'rachayt mimnim michra, batach balei baila, v'shalom lo yachsar. A gallant woman who can find, far beyond pearls is her worth. Her husband's heartfelt trust is in her, and he shall lack for nothing. She bestows good upon him and never harm all the days of her life. She seeks out wool and linen, and her hands work willingly. She is like a merchant fleet, bringing her sustenance from afar. She arises while it is yet night and gives provision to her household and direction to her maidens. She envisions a field and acquires it. From the fruit of her handiwork, she plants a vineyard. With vigor, she girds her loins and strengthens her arms. She discerns that her enterprise is good. Her lamp does not go out by night. Her hands she stretches out to the distaff, and her palms support the spindle. She spreads out her palm to the poor and extends her hands to the destitute. She fears not snow for her household, for in entire household is clothed with scarlet wool. Fine covers she made herself, linen and purple wool are her clothing. Prominent in the gates is her husband as he sits with the elders of the land. She makes a cloak and sells it, and deals a belt to the peddler. Strength and splendor are her raiment. She cheerfully awaits the last day. Her mouth is opened with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She oversees the ways of her household and partakes not of the bread of laziness. Her children arise and praise her. Her husband and he lauds her. Many daughters have accomplished well, but you surpass them all. Grace is false and beauty is vain. A woman in awe of God, she should be praised. Give her the fruits of her own hand. Let her deeds praise her in the gathering places. As always, we hope that we have shown reverence and respect and that we have captured a little bit of an insight. But indeed, truly, the life of Basha Bas Rav Shmuel of Mrs. B. Crain continues to live on in our minds, our memories, in our heart, the love we feel for her, and most importantly, in our hands and the acts of goodness and kindness that we will continue to do to honor her and that her life will live forward with her message of look forward. There is a small assembly here due to the circumstance, and many, many more who are watching at home. And we know so many who are here in spirit and mind and in behavior. At this point, I'm going to call upon Rabbi Zalman Schneer from the Menachem Foundation to ask him to recite the memorial prayer, the Keil Mole, after which Rabbi Yitzchak Wolf, the Dean of Cheder Lubavitch, a close friend of Dr. Mailing, will join together with Dr. Mailing and they can recite the Mourner's Kaddish. We ask you to please rise.
Keil Mole Rachamim Shochin Bamromim Hamotzei Minucha Nechona Al Kanfei Hashchina B'malot Kedoshim Utorim Kezohar Harakia Mazhirim Es Nishmas Basha Bas Shmuel Shalcha Lolama Bavur She'anachnu Mispalim Ba'ad Askaris Nishmasa Began Eden Tei Minuchasa Lochein Bal Rachamim Yatireha B'Seiser Kenofav Le'lamim B'Yitzror B'Tzror HaChayim Es Nishmasa Adinahu nachlasa v'tanuach b'shalom ha'mishkava v'nomar Amen. God, full of compassion, who dwells on high, grant proper repose on sheltering wings of your presence in the lofty levels of the holy and pure, who shine as the brightness of the firmament of the soul. Basha Bashmul, who has gone to her world, and whose memory we pray. May her repose be in paradise. May the Master of Compassion bring her under the cover of God's wings and bind her soul in the bond of life. May the Lord be her heritage, and may she repose in the resting place in peace. And let us respond. Amen.
Yitzchak Wolf will lead the Mourner's Kaddish. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment, we'll ask everyone to just stand outside while the gentlemen here at the cemetery prepare the casket for entombment. Memorial contributions to the Gastrointestinal Research Foundation or the American Jewish Committee or to your favorite charity would be appreciated. For the many, many people that are online, live streaming the service, that information as far as the charities can all be found on the Chicago Jewish Funerals website. For those of you who are here, all that information is on the service folder. At this time, I ask everyone to please rise and stand in place, or really rise, and we'll escort you to the outside as the gentlemen come forward and bring her casket to be prepared for the entombment. Thank you.